Well, good evening, everybody. We are live with Dr. Steve Perry, who you can see is working. He is working, and we have this awesome interview tonight. We're so excited. How you doing, Dr. Perry?
Fantastic. Really. Couldn't be better. Had a great day at work. Just getting out. What hour am I on? I started around 3:30. So, what's that, 19 hours and counting?
No, where are you at right now? You're not in Connecticut.
I am in Connecticut. So I started my day in Connecticut. Then I went from where I live to 90 minutes south to Harlem, which is where our school is. Well, first I went to our school in Connecticut. Then I went to our school in Harlem, which is 90 minutes away. I came back to our school in Connecticut. And then I went to a meeting an hour north, so I'm headed home to see my family.
Okay. Yes, I know you have two sons, right?
I do. They're at home painting sneakers right now.
Okay. Well, let me...
That's what you do when you grow up in the suburbs. Your father buys you sneakers, and you paint them.
Is that the new fad?
Apparently, because when I had a sneakers, I was doing everything I could to keep them white.
I know that's right. Well, my kids are so far from that, but I do have grandkids. Maybe I'll get to experience some of that. But I want to say congratulations, first of all, on your new school in Harlem. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's really exciting. About almost 6 years ago, I met Sean P. Diddy Combs at an engagement party. Go figure, right? First and only one I've ever been to. And I'm walking out, and we see each other and greet each other. And, of course, I introduced myself to him because, I don't. And he says he knew who I was and, introduced himself to me. And I'm like, really? And so he said, can I tell you something? I said, sure. He said, I've always wanted to open a school. Nobody knows that, though. I said, well, cool. Good luck with that. And he said, no. I think that you and I should open a school together. I'm good, man. I have a school, and I want to run my one school in Hartford, and that's it. So for years, he and I would talk, and he would say, yo, what's going on in my school? And the issue wasn't that I thought that he was the issue. It was just I just wasn't there. I just wanted to run one school. And as you know, God is not patient. And so he said, oh, you want to stay small, huh? They made running that one school so uncomfortable, this God, not home. And that it came time that I couldn't comfortably accept that I was going to only run one school. It went from wanting to only run one to thinking I'm only running one. So, Puffs was serious. I was serious. We came together. We put our team together. And here we are with our first 6th and 7th grade class in Harlem, USA.
That is so awesome. Awesome. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. One of the things, and I raised my children as a single mother, and I just want to ask you, what can mothers do best to support their children, especially their sons, in any educational system?
So it starts with high expectations. One of the biggest mistakes that moms make with their sons is they lower their expectations because they act as if their son is victimized by everybody. And I get why, because there are systems in place to make sure, especially Black, Latino, and poor children don't benefit from the blessing. But there's another way to respond to that. You increase the expectations. Because you know life is going to be tough for them, you increase the expectation. Because you know systems are set against them, you increase the expectations. And what that means is that it starts young. Every child has chores. As soon as they can stand upright, they need to be able to clean something. So your 2-year-old can pick up his toy,
exactly.
And then as they grow, so should their contribution to the house. Because you're essentially training them to take on the world at large, that they need to understand that the chips are stacked against them. And then structure, create a system of organization. And in many cases, moms who are doing it by themselves get so caught up for obvious reasons in the belief that they have to do it all themselves. But there are going to be some brothers in particular who work hard. They're your son's AAU coach, a Little League coach, a football coach. And you got to make it easier for people to help you. You can't be the person who nobody wants to work with. And there's so many times that there's sisters that I've seen people just say, you know what, you got this. You know so daggone much. Figure this out yourself. And so set high expectations, give them chores as soon as they can, put in place a structure, and recognize that you need help. You need help. Doing it by yourself is a lot. Doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means it shouldn't. And if you can get help, take it.
That's really good advice. One of the things that I pride myself on as being a single mother is what I did was I surrounded my son with positive black men doing stuff. Is that what you, when you say get help, is that what you mean?
It is, but let me expand that. I want you to surround him with positive people. Because everybody doesn't always have a brother who's willing to do what she needs to do and what he needs to do in order to help out. That's just the way it is. I wish it was different, but it ain't. So because it's not different, we gotta, when they say you gotta love the one you with. And what that means to me is that you gotta create opportunities for your kid to be connected to people who want to live right, regardless of their hue. And in many cases, regardless of their gender. It may be an aunt who's about their life. She's doing all she can do to support you. So let her do what she's got to do.
Okay. Do you believe that a lot of single mothers are enablers for, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it, sorry, men?
Yep, I do. I think it's not just single mothers. I think a lot of moms, especially modern moms, are lost. They feel like they have to lower the bar. They feel like they have to make it guarantee their child's success by making sure that they change the rules to what they believe their child's limitations are. And I see too many lose because of that. I see too many boys who are sorry, just straight sorry. And they spend their lives saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And they really are. But they're not apologizing, though.
And is that because mothers are too soft? I was really a tough love mom. My son, I wish he would come on now so he could date. But are the mothers just too soft?
Nobody wants to be the villain all the time. And so when you're raising a child by yourself, it's very easy to say, I don't want to come home and fight with my son this weekend. So he said he ain't got no homework. He ain't got no homework. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to press him. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. If he does, we'll deal with that later. I want to get along with him. And a lot of our mothers who are doing it by themselves find themselves dating their sons. It's a really strange thing. But the boy stays in the bed. They consult him on important decisions. They do a lot of things that they just don't need to do.
Wow. And then I've heard mothers tell their sons, you're the man of the house. Is that fair?
No. You can't be the man of the house when you've never even been the teenager of the house. And you can't be the man of the house unless your name is on a lease. If your name is on a lease, you are a guest in the house.
Wow. What is the single most important message a parent should expect from their child's school?
I think one of the most important messages that a child can get from the school is that he works hard. He and she, that he works hard. You want a child who like they used to say, works hard and minds, right? Listens to people who are trying to help him or her.
Okay. And so if a child is in a school, and one of the things that I've noticed in the public schools, and maybe it's me, a lot of them it seems like they try to brand our kids. They want to keep them in a little box. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fact. Black children in general, black boys in particular, are the most likely to be labeled as special ed. And it's not uncommon for me to get a student who's been labeled special ed. Who's not. He might be low, meaning he may not read on grade level, which is more likely than not. He may not do math on grade level, which is much more likely than not. But beyond that, he doesn't have any intellectual disabilities or behavioral issues that couldn't be corrected in a setting where he has effective instruction.
So what can we? I mean, if our kids are in public schools, what can we? Because they tried to say that with my daughter. They tried to say she had ADD, which I didn't. I rejected, and she didn't. She ended up an honor roll student. But if I had bought into that, she'd have been stuck in that cycle. What is it that we have to question it, right?
You do, and so here's the challenge that I have, because I'm on both sides of this, if I'm being real. I'm an advocate for parents' rights, which means I want parents to question the system. On the same token, I work in schools, and I've seen people come in and they're just combative. I mean, I don't even want to say it, they're just combative, and you can't help them. Can't help somebody who comes in and they just know everything and they want to fuss and fight. And I mean fight. I'm not talking about metaphorically fighting. And so I recently met with a mom, and she came in. She sent an email, and it basically said, "I'm going to call the media. I'm going to call the state. I'm going to call the city. And until we sat down, I said, sis, we're going to have a relationship. I give you that. But you ain't going to send me emails talking about who you don't threaten me. Like, well, how is that helping anybody? How is it helping anybody? If you cannot send me an email without threats, don't send me an email. I can guarantee you nobody on my staff is going to send you such an email. Imagine if we did that to you, I said. Imagine if we sent you an email saying, if you don't take better care of your child, get his grades up, we're going to contact the Department of Children and Family Services. We're going to call the local newspaper. We're going to call CNN, CBS, ABC. And then we're going to write blogs about you. I mean, do you want that?
Wow.
That's not necessary. It's not necessary. So the trouble I find is that there's been so much badness that has happened. I mean, so much that people don't trust the schools. And so then here I come saying, no, I'm different. We don't do it like them. And they're like, man, please get out my face. You work in a school, you do kids dirty. So I got to eat that. I got to somehow work through the very system. I have to work to get people to have a better impression of the very system I spend every single day fighting against.
Well, I really do admire your standards. I mean, anybody that can look you up and look at the school. I love seeing you drive the school bus and the dress, the way they dress, and you with the bow ties. To me, that is so important. To start our kids, dressing decently. So I applaud you. I think it's great. You and Dr. Underwood, you prove that our kids can do well. So I think it's a great thing, and I think we need to duplicate it all across the country. And I know that you're on your tour, which we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But can you explain the importance of school choice, charter, magnet, vouchers?
It's the only way we're going to get out of this bad situation we find ourselves in. For the first time since Reconstruction, black people